Hello guys, welcome in Unified IT Solution. Today we are going to discuss how to connect universal folder to indexer. So in our last video we discussed how to connect the universal folder to the deployment server. So deployment server is nothing but to push the configuration. Now the actual thing is how to connect the UF to the indexer. So it our UF can send the data. So whatever configuration is received from the deployment server, whatever monitoring stanza, so it can read those and it can send and forward that data to the indexer. So today we are not going to discuss about the deployment apps. Just we'll see how UF will connect to indexer and it will start automatically send the internal log of UF. So let's go to the Splunk, which is there. So if you look at in my Splunk right now, so only one host having internal, which is Splunk Enterprise, which is this host is running. So I have one host where Enterprise is installed and one is just UF and which is in same laptop under the C drive. So what is the main configuration file? So once that is connected, so you will see here two hosts. One is UF and one is this enterprise. So which configuration is important to connect to the deployment server? It is called outputs.conf file. Okay, so we need to create this file. It does not exist by default on UF. We need to create, so we'll create it manually. We can also uh, specify the indexer detail while installing the initial forwarder, but that is not the best practice. So best practice is you do all the configuration via deployment server. So today we are not going to do the configuration via deployment server indexer configuration. I will show how you can do it manually locally on the universal forward. Sometime it's also required. So next video I'll show how to deploy this same configuration via deployment server. So since this file we need to create and this is the stanza we need to put. So TCP like output will go to TCP and group one is nothing but the name number of server. You can put number of indexer. If you have more than one, you can comma separated and you can put the name of the server and port triple line should be open at the indexer end, so it could receive the data. It could receive the data and universal forward can forward and indexer could receive the data. If you have multiple indexer like in our distributed environment, you will find multiple. You just copy this, put it here and replace your host like host 1 indexer 2 and indexer 3, similar like this. We'll discuss more in this output. We have many option, like we'll go with the first initial one and we'll see how this will configure. So you have to configure your indexer details. Since I have one enterprise, so I will take what is the name of my my indexer. So my indexer is Mr. Perfect, Mr. underscore perfect. So you can take it from host name you are doing in your laptop, and similar I have copied it here, Mr. Perfect. And now I will just copy it and I will paste it here. Just make sure this is same as it this is showing. So I'll just compare this. Okay, this will look fine. Now I will go to at the universal forwarder end, so which is in my C drive. Okay, so in etc system local, so this is the path under program file universal forwarder etc system local. So we are doing locally this configuration. We are not going to deploy it via deployment server. So last time you see we have created deployment client.conf to connect with the deployment server. Today we are going to discuss, today we are going to connect via output.conf file to the what do you call to the indexer. So I'll just copy this and I will change the name, so it will saving the time, it will just save the time. I just copied it, I just replaced the name. Sorry, I'll just copy this name from here, output.conf, just rename it. Then now you can open this file here and replace the content of this file is TCP group 1 I just saved it. Okay, since you have to save, you have saved it and you are making configuration change into your universal forwarder, so you'll have to restart it. So just to make sure, I have just close it. I just reopen it and I check, yeah, it is saved, and I just close it. Now I will go to the services. You can type here services and search for Splunk forwarder. You don't have to restart indexers, okay, which is our main server. Just universal for restop, or me I can take restart. So in between it will restart. We have to enable the forwarding at, sorry, receiving at the indexer level as well, because a universal forwarder will forward the data. It will start flowing data to indexer side, but indexer should receive this data. So I will log into your indexer. You can do it from the UI and go to the uh, forwarder and receiving. In setting, you go click on forward and receiving. So here we will receive the data. So you have to click on configure receiving data. Okay, new port. So which port? 9997 we are going to receive the data. Okay, I'll just put 9997 port where I'm not going to specify any IP anything, just 999 port. I will enter host and port, but I will just uncheck in. Maybe something is wrong. Okay, sorry. We'll have to receive the data. We'll have to configure it here, not here. Configure. So new port. Click on receiving port. So when you are doing the configuration on the HF, you'll have to receive as well as you have to configure forwarding. So in forwarding, uh, then you have to specify the indexer. But right now we have only one instance which is acting like a search ad indexer, everything, and we have one unit for. So on indexer we are just configure receiving. I'll show in my next video, maybe coming videos, I'll show how to receive it through HF and then send it to the indexer. So since we have configured the receiving, you can just check it once again. This is enable the port 9997, it is receiving. And let's see our service. Yeah, it's already restarted. So let's go to the Splunk and see uh, if we are getting starting, if indexer is connected. Oh wow, it's working. So you see here we can see two hosts. One is enterprise, one is UF, which is connected to the deployment server. Now it's able to send the data, internal logs, to the indexer. So it's just sending the internal log because by default it's having configuration of to send the data internal logs. Maybe next video I will show how to push the apps from the deployment server, and also will do the same configuration from the deployment server. So tomorrow, why the deployment server, if tomorrow we'll have to update the indexer detail, so you don't have to log in on each and every universal forwarder. So from there you can push this output.conf file, and it will be easy to manage and easy to maintain the consistency over all of your at all of your universal forwarder. So that's why we should manage this configuration, indexer configuration, from the deployment server. So right now we have just connected and we can see we are getting the data from universal forwarder. So next video I'll show you how to configure this via deployment server, and yeah, and we'll manage it from there itself. So thank you guys for watching this video, and support our channel via subscribe, share, comment, any topic you wanted to see the video, so please let us know. Thank you, thanks a lot.